Hello again, and welcome to another installment of our online children's moment. My name is Pierce Fetters, and I head up the family ministries here at the Chicago Temple, and it's so good to have you with me on this Sunday morning. Now, today we are going to hear a story about a prophet and who he was mentoring. Now, if you were at Sunday school last week, we talked about prophets. And if you remember, they are people specifically chosen by God to speak on God's behalf. So in this story, we're going to meet Elijah and Elisha. Their names are really close, so sometimes it can get a little confusing. But in last week, we didn't talk about this story specifically. But last week, one of the lectionary passages described how God told Elijah to anoint someone who would come as a prophet of God after him. And Elijah appointed Elisha and began to mentor Elisha in how to be God's prophet. And as a result, those two men became really good friends. One day, Elijah and Elisha were leaving a town called Gilgal. Elijah said, "Stay here, Elisha. The Lord has told me to go to Bethel." But Elisha didn't want to stay behind. So he said, "As long as you are alive, I won't leave you. I'll stay by your side." So both Elijah and Elisha went to Bethel. At Bethel, a group of prophets said to Elisha, "Do you know that the Lord is going to take Elijah from you soon?" And Elisha said, "Yes, but don't talk about it." I think it's because he was a little worried probably to become that next sort of prophet in the way that his mentor had been teaching him. He was probably a little bit nervous. And he knew if God was already telling Elijah to appoint someone new, Elisha knew his time was coming soon. But he said, "Let's not talk about it. Let's wait." So then Elijah said to Elisha, "Stay here. God has told me to go to Jericho." Elisha said, "As long as you are alive, I will not leave your side." So they went together to Jericho. Again, a group of prophets in Jericho took Elisha aside and said, "The Lord God is going to take Elijah from you today." "Yes, I know, but let's not talk about it," said Elisha. Finally, Elijah again came to Elisha and said, "The Lord God has told me to go to the Jordan River. So would you stay here?" Once more, Elisha said, "As long as you are alive, I won't leave your side." So the two men went to the Jordan River. And this time, 50 prophets followed them from a distance. Elijah and Elisha stood at the Jordan River. Elijah took off his coat and rolled it up. When he hit the water with it, the water divided so that they could walk across the river. On the other side of the river, Elijah said, "What do you want from me before I am taken away?" And Elisha says, "Give me double your spirit." Elijah said, "That's a hard one. If you see me when I'm taken away, you will have it. If you don't see me, you won't." Then they walked along the riverbank, talking. All of a sudden, a chariot and horses that looked like they were on fire swooped in and landed between them. Elijah, the older one, the mentor, got on and was taken away by a strong wind. "Father," cried Elisha, "it's the chariot and horses of Israel." When he could no longer see Elijah, Elisha tore his clothes in two. Then he picked up Elijah's coat. He hit the water with it, and the water divided again. Elisha walked across the river. The 50 prophets saw him and shouted, "Elijah's spirit is now on Elisha." And now Elisha knew what he had to do. It's an amazing story about someone mentoring a younger person and helping them along the way so that they are prepared for when the time comes for whatever it is God has called them to do. I think in your own lives, you also have mentors. They look a little bit different than this, right? Maybe it's not as openly that God has appointed them in your life. For many of you, they look like teachers. They look like parents. They look like family friends, aunts and uncles, people from church. Think about the people God has placed in your lives who are helping to teach you how to live, how to act, how to treat other people, but even teach you skills so that later on in life, when you get a job, you're going to have skills that you're able to use. God uses many ways and many people to put in our lives to help us out. And I know we're on summer break now, and so you've got a little time away from probably some of your biggest mentors, your teachers, but soon enough, another school year will start. And when that happens, I want you to think about, why might God have put some of these people in your life? What are they trying to teach you? And how might those lessons help you learn how to help others? So that's my question for us to think about as we continue on and start this summer break. Again, we won't have Sunday school this week, so please watch these videos, maybe talk to your parents about them, and see what you can continue to learn throughout the summer, even when we're not in Sunday school. I'm so thankful I got to see many of you last week. I hope you all have a wonderful and blessed week, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye.